What's going on, YouTube? West Hobbies RC here. I figured I would do a little review and after build video of the Trex 470 LM. The kit build went together really well, just like every Align kit does. Nice and smooth, few days I believe is all it took me. I figured I would go over and just show you a little things that I've done differently. My build style. I'm very big into clean wires, Loctiting everything, which is the most important thing. You know, your rotor head and everything comes pre-assembled in the factory. This started out as an LP kit. I switched it to an LM, so I had to take it apart anyways. But it is very big that you pull your rotor heads apart, tail head, anything that comes pre-assembled, and I like to take a little container with some denatured alcohol, and I put all the screws, everything in the alcohol to wash the machining oil off. It's a step a lot of people don't do. It's something that I like to do. Any bit of little oil, machining oil, anything that's on the screws, cleaned off, dry them off. Then I go ahead and put my Loctite on and assemble from there. So here it is, completely done. I have put a few flights on the helicopter now. It went together extremely well. It flies amazing. It is the best 450 class helicopter I've ever flown. You have the LM kit on. Everything is smooth. Flies great. We'll start with not taking the canopy off yet. But I went ahead and put my Micro Beast on the top. Put a tail servo where it goes. I ended up opting just going with a single satellite down here, and then ran my wires, drilled 2 little holes in the carbon, ran my antennas through. I used a piece of pneumatic retract airline covered in heat shrink just so it's black. Drop a CA on the mainframe, ran the antennas through and out. For my wiring here, bear with me for a second. I did cut and shorten all my servo leads, recrimped all the ends on it here, and then I went ahead and ran everything in between the tail boom block and came up with it, ran it right into the Micro Beast. Give it a super clean. I use heat shrink over all my wires. Went ahead and used a little piece of double-sided tape to secure to the servo, so it's just a nice clean look, no wires everywhere. I did the same thing on this side with the antenna guide, piece of airline tubing, covered in heat shrink, ran it through. This is the other side of the helicopter. Hold on one second while I pull the canopy off. All right, so again, I did everything as clean as I possibly could do it. No wires on the outside of the frame whatsoever on either side. Everything is just clean to me and how I like it to be. Give you a little bit of closer look. So I run XT60s. So all I had to do was solder on an XT60 here. Again, I had to extend the ESC lead. I think I extended it 2 inches so I could run it through, covered it in heat shrink. I ran the wires for the ESC out the back here, ran them up. Did not have to shorten the motor or ESC bullet connectors or leads. Those actually came out to be good length. I did the wires ran for the ESC or go in between here. As you can look right here and see it, they run through the heat shrink tubing right next to the motor. They're touching the bottom part of the motor, but that's okay because that doesn't spin. Then I just ran it through here. I went up and underneath of the elevator servo, came up through back here, make sure it cleared everything, and then ran it underneath the flybarless tray that goes in here, and then directly into the flybarless unit. Same thing with elevator servo. I just came straight out of here. Of course, shortened all my wires, threw this little pre-grommet in the frame, straight under. So I think that came out pretty good. Nice and clean looking, no real wires on the outside. As best as that I could possibly do it. I'm sure there's 101 different ways to do this. This is just the way that I chose to do it. And get a little better look right here of the wires that run through. Nothing is in the way. The wires for here, I ended up clearancing the bearing block a little bit. Took a Dremel file and I just did the underneath of it just a little bit so the wires cleared. But everything came out really nice. The helicopter, like I said, flies amazing. I've put about 18 or 20 flights on this so far, running the 6S HRB 1800 packs. Zero issues. 3D is perfect. I run a high head speed, so I haven't had any problems with the tail. I know some people have at lower head speeds, but with me, I'm running, I believe, like 33 or 3400 RPM head speed, somewhere around there. Tail is solid. Great performance. No tuning of the flybarless unit whatsoever, just my initial setup. Everything is just great. Couldn't be happier with this kit. I highly recommend it to anyone looking for this size helicopter. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.